Have you ever opened your banking app, saw a single digit staring back at you, and felt that heavy, sinking feeling in your chest? We've all been there. That moment when your dreams feel like they cost $1 million, but your reality is on a dollar menu budget. You might think you need a winning lottery ticket or a rich uncle to flip the script. But what if I told you the most expensive asset you can own isn't crypto or real estate? Let me tell you a powerful motivational story about a kid who had absolutely zero in his bank account, yet managed to buy his own future. Let's take a trip to a small, dusty town in the Midwest. Let's call it Oak Haven. You know the type: one main street, a diner, and a lot of closed-down factories. This is where Caleb lived, and honestly, Caleb's life was rough. He wasn't just broke college student poor, he was tape on the shoes poor. You know that feeling when you check your pockets and find nothing but lint and a receipt from 3 weeks ago? That was Caleb's daily reality. His backpack was holding on by a thread, and there were plenty of nights he went to sleep early just to trick his stomach into forgetting it was hungry. But Caleb had a secret. It wasn't Bitcoin, and it wasn't a hidden trust fund. It was a dream. He didn't just want to survive the week. He wanted to thrive. He wanted to do something massive, something that would finally wipe that look of constant worry off his mum's face and let his dad retire from a job that was breaking his back. This is the story of a poor boy with empty pockets who was crazy enough to believe he could change his family's entire timeline. But let's be real, high school is brutal when you don't fit in. Whenever Caleb talked about his big ideas, the local kids would roast him. They'd point at his worn-out sneakers and say, "Nice vintage look, Caleb. Maybe focus on getting a lunch that isn't just an apple before you try to be the next Elon Musk." They told him to be realistic. They told him that guys from Oak Haven don't get to be heroes. Those comments, they didn't just annoy him, they stung. They lived in his head, rent-free. He started to doubt himself. Maybe they were right. Maybe he was just kidding himself. One evening, feeling absolutely crushed after a bad day, Caleb sat by the riverbank on the edge of town, just watching the water run. His head was down, buried in his hands. That's when Father Thomas, the cool, wise priest from the church down the block, walked by. He saw Caleb and knew that slump. He knew the weight of the world was on that kid's shoulders. Father Thomas sat on the grass beside him and asked, "Why so heavy, son?" Caleb looked up, trying to hide his tears, and said, "Father, everyone says I'm delusional. They say I can't do anything great because my pockets are empty. They say my dreams are too expensive for a guy like me." The priest didn't preach. He didn't quote a verse. He just smiled, reached into his satchel, and pulled out a small pocket mirror. He held it right up to Caleb's face. "Look," Father Thomas said gently. "What do you see?" "I see me," Caleb sighed. "I see a broke kid." "Look closer," the father insisted. "Do you see the pain in your eyes?" Caleb nodded. "Now," Father Thomas whispered, leaning in. "Look even deeper, past the tears, past the fear of rent day. Can you see that little spark? That tiny fire burning way back in your eyes?" Caleb stared at his own reflection. And yeah, buried under the exhaustion, there was something there, a stubbornness, a refusal to quit. "That fire," Father Thomas said, "is your belief. This is the power of thinking big. Most people let the world dump a bucket of water on it. But if you protect that fire, if you feed it with courage, it will burn bright enough to light up your darkest path. The world tries to cover your mirror with dust, making you think you're not enough. Your job is to wipe that mirror clean every single day and remember who you really are." Something clicked in Caleb's brain that day. He realized that being broke was just a temporary condition of his wallet, not a permanent condition of his soul. He looked in the mirror and told himself to stop waiting for tomorrow, because tomorrow is just an excuse for today. He went home, but he didn't doom scroll on his phone. He went to work. This wasn't a movie montage where he gets rich in 30 seconds. This was a genuine, hard work success story. Every morning, Caleb was up at 4 a.m. While the rest of the town was snoozing, he was studying tech manuals he borrowed from the library. He went to school, and the second the final bell rang, he sprinted to the Daily Grind, the local coffee spot. He stood there washing cups and scrubbing caramel latte stains off tables for hours just to earn minimum wage. His hands got dry and cracked, his back screamed at him, but he didn't stop. On weekends, he shadowed the mechanic at the auto shop, getting covered in grease, learning how to fix things, learning the value of a trade. He sacrificed the parties, he sacrificed the sleep. While others were out having fun, he was building. He saved every single dollar like his life depended on it, because it did. He watched his mom struggle with the flu because she couldn't afford the copay. He saw his dad limp home after a 12-hour shift. He didn't let those images make him sad. He let them make him hungry. Years passed. The grind paid off. Caleb took his stash of savings and rented a tiny kiosk in the corner of the town mall to fix phones. He didn't have a fancy Apple Store vibe, but he had honesty. He fixed cracked screens fast. He didn't overcharge, and he treated every customer like a VIP. With a strong will and smart planning, that kiosk blew up. From one kiosk, he opened a storefront, then 3. Then he launched his own line of durable phone cases. The kid who couldn't afford new sneakers was now hiring the guys who used to make fun of him in the cafeteria. He did it. He bought his parents a beautiful ranch-style house, paid in cash. He got his mom the best healthcare plan in the state. His dad finally retired and got to sit on the porch, drinking iced tea, looking at his son with pure pride. Father Thomas swung by Caleb's corporate office one day. Caleb stood up and hugged him. Father Thomas looked around the sleek office and grinned. "You know, Caleb," he said, "the world loves to tell us to stay in our lane, but the ones who dare to think big are the ones who build new roads. You are proof that dreams aren't measured by the cash in your pocket, but by the fire in your heart." This isn't just a story about Caleb. It's a life-changing moral story for anyone feeling stuck in the mud. Caleb's journey is one of those inspirational stories in English that hits different because it shows that the magic isn't in the destination, it's in the hunger. If you felt even a little spark of hope in your chest today, don't let it fade. We often scroll looking for memes, but sometimes we need life lesson stories to remind us that we are capable of way more than we think. This heart-touching moral story is your sign to stop doubting and start doing. Even a simple short story in English like this can be the wake-up call you needed. Share this short motivational story in English with that friend who's grinding right now and needs a boost. Now do me a massive favor. Smash that like button like Caleb smashed his doubts and hit subscribe to join the Motive Heaven family. We are building a community of legends here. Your next chapter begins the moment you dare to think big. Start today.